I'm Ray.
And I'm Veronica.
And welcome to the Chick Lit Book Club podcast,
where we read a romance novel and then we talk about it. Today we're talking about Beach Read by Emily Henry. Finally! It's been, I feel like forever. Everyone else, we are the last two people that have not read this book. I swear to God.
I know, right? And I can't, okay, spoiler alert. I can't wait for her next book. I don't know if you read like what her next book's going to be. I was like, no. Can this be out like now? March 2022. I can't remember the name of it right now. We have saved it in our Goodreads. Yeah.
Yay.
Also, question for the masses: does everyone use Storygraph? It looks like a lot of people have moved to Storygraph because the reviews are better. But there's some books that aren't on Storygraph, so I don't know if it's just because they don't have reviews on it or what. So it seems to me like Storygraph is going to be like the box, the letterboxed of films.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. Question for the pondered for the universe.
Yes. Please let us know.
Yeah. So, do you want the surprise thing first, or we want to do some bright spots?
I guess you have a surprise for me?
I do.
I feel like that might be my bright spot. I don't know what this is, but I feel like that's probably going to be it.
Okay, so everybody here knows that if you follow along, that I have purchased some things recently.
Uh-huh.
When I got working. And then that same thing that I got working, the dog chewed up. It's fine. It's fine. It's a little war damaged, but it's fine.
I have a very inappropriate question.
Go for it.
Does it add texture in a good way?
No, unfortunately. It has more of the lines of what remains. Where'd that come from? Yeah. So I will probably end up having to buy a new one soon.
Oh my God, that's horrible. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. So when the one wasn't working, I went out and purchased I didn't go out because I was in quarantine. I'm off of quarantine, guys. So I purchased something else. And this came with a free gift.
Oh, please, God, tell me what it is.
So this free gift is a bunch of...
It looks like a deck of cards.
It is. It's called A Year of Sex, Sexual Position Cards. So, would you like to pick a card?
I would love to pick a card.
And I'm going to read what's on there, and then hopefully we can figure out if there's been a romance novel with this position in it, or maybe somebody knows of one that we can't figure one out. How does that work?
Oh my God, yes. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to pick
No, you can't, so I'm just going to pick one.
Pick one from like the middle. That's what I'm deciding.
I'm picking one right here.
Perfect.
And I have not looked at these. I literally just opened the pack.
I cannot fucking wait. Oh my God, what is it?
We have one. In fact, one just came to my head when I read the...
Did it come to your head?
It came all over your face. Okay. It's called The Figurehead. And it's a 3 out of 5 in the difficulty range. Or I don't know if that's difficulty or hotness. Hold on. Give me 1 second. But right by the thermometer rating.
So that's heat, right? Like how hot it is?
I guess somebody's... I don't know. I didn't look to see it. What...
Wait, hold the card back up. Let me see.
Okay, hold on. Do you want me to read it first?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, here. Okay. Can you see it?
I can.
Okay.
This is amazing.
Technique. And you were either going to get this packet, I was going to send you the game.
Oh my God.
For you and your hubby.
Perfect.
Maybe that's what I'll do.
I'll just start
sending you. I'll just hold them all. As I'm going through as we do this, I'll just send them to you every week.
That's fine.
Yeah, you can try them out.
There you go.
Technique. Enjoy shallower penetration in this position. Both couples kneel with her back facing him. She arches her pelvis up, and he squats lower if necessary. Each lover then thrusts away and towards each other in unison.
Alrighty.
I got a book!
What is the book?
Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. Colin even says to Penelope, I want to get a mirror, and I want to do this in front of you so that I can watch as I grab your Yep, grab your boots. I have to look it up. Hold on. Keep talking. Because I have to get the exact quote.
I don't think I have words, though. I think I think you may have stunned me speechless.
It's hot as fuck. Now you can know why everyone is wanting season 4 of Bridgerton.
Pollen.
Oh, God, Colin. Even though he looks like he's 12 years old in the show right now. I mean...
Yeah, he does.
It's like, I also pictured him a lot different, but that's okay. It's okay.
Listen, I'm not sad about it, but he is very young right now. But by the time his book comes, it'll be older. He does look like he's about 17 right now.
Yeah, I do love the two of them together.
Of course, in the book, I think he kind of is. I mean, he's like 18. I mean, he's really young in the book.
Yeah, he's young in the book. I mean, like, by the time we get to his book, I mean, he's 23, 24.
Okay. So like a normal age human.
Yeah, yes, a normal age human that,
Yes.
Let me see if I can find that
Perhaps
quote.
would be in want of a wife.
Yeah, also, somebody gave it a 1. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you,
fuck that
fucking
person.
Goodreads.
By the way, did you catch in this book, there is... a quote about want to do. Did you catch that?
No.
Hang on, I'll find it. Oh, it's chapter 8. Oops, hang on. It says, and then he was, oh wait, I don't want to give that part away. It says, in the throng of bodies jumping and ridiculously dancing to Sandstorm, Shady had hijacked the iPod, as she was wont to do. I love Shady in this book. We'll get to that, but I love Shady in this book.
Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. I found it. Okay, I had to actually look up the book because Goodreads gave me nothing. And then, just when she was certain that she couldn't take it for one more second, he reached out and covered her with both his hands, squeezing lightly as he tested the weight and shape of her. He moaned raggedly, then sucked in his breath as he adjusted his fingers so that her nipples popped up. Good thing! Did you guys know you were going to hear smut right off the bat? Woohoo! That her nipples popped up between them. I want to see you sitting up, he groaned, so that I can see them full and lovely and large. And then I want to crawl behind you and cup you. His lips found her ear, and his voice dropped to a whisper. And I want to do it in front of a mirror. So that's the Figurehead, guys. The couple in the picture look really cute, like really happy about it. So I'm assuming that it's yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'll bet they do.
Mm-hmm. So that's our new game. I kind of like it.
All right.
I am not going to look at any of the other ones, so I'm just going to put the pack back.
Is this how we're starting off the podcast now?
Yeah, I think I like it.
Okay.
I mean, it was me asking just random questions, but
I don't know. I kind of like this.
I kind of like this better. So, Veronica, what's your bright spot?
You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I had not even thought about that at all because I was just like making sure earlier when I was taking notes, I was like frantically writing down page numbers for quotes that I want to talk about. Oh, God. I'm actually kind of having a hard time because I'm really concerned about Delta and things like that. And like we're not attending functions coming up that...
Yeah.
Like we should be, you know, but we're not going to because it doesn't feel safe. But like, I will say that I've spent too much time this week on TikTok, and I fucking love the book talk community like so much. But the way that they eviscerated Chad this week just made me so fucking happy. And if you're not up on that, there are like some recap kind of things, but it all started with what is her name? Her name is Rachel. We also follow her on Instagram. I'll get her handle, but she just like
Rachel,
was
is that Fit Rachel? Is it
it is Fit okay. Rachel. Okay. She had like just posted a normal thing like with her normal shit, and somehow some fucking dude was there she goes. Her name is Rachel Baldwin, and she is she does like Instagram stuff, and she's big on TikTok. But she posted some video, like, talking about, you know, the smut she loves, as per usual. And this fucking dude named Chad, you literally could not make that up. That is his actual fucking name.
White dude named Chad.
White dude named Chad. And he was like,
khaki pants Chad.
Why do, like, girls think that this is, like, oh, I don't know. I don't remember. He deleted all this shit because he got eviscerated by Book Talk. But he was just saying that, like, it's not cool to get on, like, TikTok and talk about your smutty books and blah, blah, blah. And it's, what did
Chad
he say?
has never touched a boob.
Chad has never made a woman come. Like,
he's never made a woman wet.
He claims to have a girlfriend
he and Ben
I feel
Shapiro,
bad for.
no, he and Ben Shapiro. Shapiro's wife, no, not what a WAP is.
They've never seen a WAP.
Nope.
But, like, his bullshit is not even worth getting into. He's just a fucking asshole, and he deserved every bit of what Book Talk threw at him. I mean, they just eviscerated him this week, and it was really lovely to see just that whole community
come together.
Most of you whom, like, don't know each other, and, like, they all just came together, and they were like, "Fuck you, Chad."
Yeah, you're the reason.
And the amount of authors who were like, "And now I will be writing a book where the villain's name is Chad," or, like, the guy who loses the girl's name is Chad, or the guy that you're supposed to hate, his name is Chad. So I think for, like, the next 5 or so years, you're going to see a lot of books that come out with, like, bad guys named Chad.
Well, I mean, when we're talking about fraternities, there's usually the bad guy's name's Chad, if it has anything to do with it.
Also, can I just ask maybe that you don't name men Chad for, like, a few years?
Or
if you're, like, pregnant with a boy, like, you might want to just consider it. I'm done. You know, it's your kid, you name it, whatever. But, like, you know,
well, didn't they deem that the male equivalent of Karen?
It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Yep. That and Brett.
Anyway,
right?
That's basically my bright spot. Which, you know, maybe a little dark in and of itself, but it doesn't matter. Girl, what made you happy this week? What is your bright spot for this week?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It's a fucking tough time, man.
So I was done with quarantine, so I actually went out of the house, so there was that. But it was a good time.
A lot better.
Yeah. Like, there was a good time and a bad time with that because I got out of the house and I hadn't been in the house for almost a month. So I felt like one of those people either on house arrest or those people who have agoraphobia, which I kind of do, but it's not like that bad. The house arrest probably could have happened too. It's fine. But I go out, and so I'm like, I'm walking on sunshine, doo-doo, you know, like, montage.
Yeah, as you do. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm the only person with the mask on. I'm like, I'm walking on. Are you fucking kidding me? That's like, guys, like, one record stop, like, scratch, and this is how we got to this situation. Yeah.
You should have told every person you encountered that you had COVID.
No one gave me...
Hi, I have COVID. Y'all should be wearing masks.
Then I wouldn't just, like...
Someone...
put my hands under my mask and lick my fingers, then touched everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, do you feel like you want to take a chance?
You want to take a chance?
Is this like Vegas? Yeah.
Because what happens here does not stay here.
No, no, it does. It gets spread
it follows you.
Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Probably for the rest of your life. Cool.
Mm-hmm. So your bright spot is leaving the house. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that and my taste is coming back a little bit.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, and my sense of smell a little bit. So I'm hoping that it comes back in full. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there's not much happened. I mean, everything's still on fire at work, and
and also the world. So
and the world, and so there's that.
My feminist rage is like turned up to 11 this week. So.
Well, you know, and the other bright spot is we read a good book this week. So
holy shit, we read such a good book this week.
I had some luck with books this week because I read the book we read tonight, but also some other ones too. So I was like, it was a happy week.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to take like a brief respite and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the seriously awesome book we did read?
Let's do that.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
And we're back.
We're back, guys. Oh,
welcome.
Oh, Sherman, no, you don't. I don't need your help. He's.
Are you sure though?
He's thinking about it. He's doing that sniffy, sniff, sniff. I had to share this with you because it came through Instagram, and
Please do.
I had to laugh a little bit. So we follow Sarah Hogel, who wrote Twice Shy, which I fucking love.
Oh, right.
And so she has her post tonight is just a screenshot of the title of the 2005 Pride and Prejudice. It looks to be something, I don't know, it's a cup with a spoon sticking out of it, and it just says Saturday night with the GOAT and mocha coffee cocoa. And she's then, I was like, yes. So she is team 2005.
Hell yes.
Yeah. I want to transport myself to Longbourn and write 20 books while sitting next to a window. I also need a soundtrack to follow me around while I eat excellent boiled potatoes.
Yes.
I mean, boiled potatoes, fried potatoes, any kind of potato, mashed, whatever. It's a potato.
I do one time in my life want to eat one of those little eggs that sits in the pretentious ass little like
soft-boiled.
stand. Yeah, and with the teeny tiny spoon.
Yeah, crack it.
Just one time. I probably won't like it. That's the other thing. So like,
I don't know. Do you like eggs like that? Do you like the yolks and stuff?
yeah. Now, yes. However, big caveat. It has to be done so that there's like this is a gross way to say it, and I'm sorry to everyone. It is a consistency thing, but there's like the part that connects the yolk to the white. Sometimes, if it's not cooked enough, has a consistency that makes me want to hurl.
It's like mucus.
So like it, yes. So like it needs to be, the white needs to be totally cooked.
Yeah, no, I get that.
There can be no like.
Yeah, it's like phlegmy sort of mucus.
I'm gonna vomit. Okay, let's move on. So anyway, we read this really great book this week. We read an awesome book this week. It's called Beach Read. We are the last two people on this planet that have not read it. And also one of our friends has also not read it, but she will probably read it at some point because she has been taking all of my book recommendations as of late. She's just burning her way through Mariana Zapata.
Excellent.
Not sorry.
She
read
figure out a name.
The Wall of Winnipeg, and then she did Culty, and then she did she just finished Lukoff. Oh, and now she's reading Lingus. She just started Lingus.
Okay, so this is gonna be a shout out to Gigi. She knows who she is.
She also, her husband in the group chat was like, he actually proposed Ginny as her name.
Oh.
Her podcast name.
I like it.
Because it comes from her middle name.
Oh, I like it.
So I was like, I entirely, like, if you want to be on it, please. And she was like, I do not have enough experience. And I was like, I'm sorry, excuse me?
We just get in here talking about our asses for 2 hours.
What do you think? Like, so this is a book club podcast. We get together and talk about romance novels. What, do you think I got a degree in this?
No. It's all the experience that we have who's just been listening to shit for so long.
It's just been people who love fucking books
and people
want
who like
to meet and talk about it.
Yes, who listen to podcasts and who like books.
Right.
Done.
That's all. That's how this was born. It's like that and our need to escape the shithole that is COVID and the world on fire and also flooding.
We are that bar in town that someone just had all of like a whole bunch of beer and they're like, let's start a bar. That's the same way.
Yeah, let's just open a bar.
Yeah, that's our podcast.
We should open a bar. That's actually from How I Met Your Mother. We should open a bar.
That's what I used to say. What is that? Barking spider was. I was like, it's just the person in town who had the most.
The barking spider.
Yeah, who had the most beer. They're like, I got a couple kegs. Should we start a bar? Yeah.
Yeah, we should open.
That's how it was a podcast. Hey, we got all this recording equipment. Should we just start a podcast? Yeah.
And also, we love talking about smutty books.
Yeah, and we like talking to each other. So, I mean, done. And
like three birds, one stone. Like,
right.
Really kind of all came together at
Everybody
once.
needed to hear our melodious voices. So,
obviously,
Gigi.
You poor people.
Boo.
You are welcome to the podcast,
yes.
my friend.
Boo. You need to be on here.
Boo. Oh, God, I miss that so much. Okay. Anyway, so we read Beach Read by Emily Henry.
Yes.
It has been all over TikTok. I was expecting to get a nice, lighthearted beach read.
Emma, Emma. At Emma Jackson.
At Emma Jackson.
Girl.
This was not lighthearted. Now, to be fair, she did not tell us it was lighthearted.
No, and I knew going in, because I'd read a couple of reviews, they were like, I expected this to be, and I'm like, oh, they're like, but there's a lot more here. I'm like, oh, I'm going to cry at some point, I'm sure. That's what that means. Oh.
So I will, without, I guess, further ado, I'll just read this description and then we'll kind of get into it if we feel like we need to. Okay. A romance writer who no longer believes in love and a literary writer stuck in a rut engage in a summer-long challenge that may just upend everything they believe about happily ever afters. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Until one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend his summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult. Obviously. Everyone will finish a book, and no one will fall in love. Really. That's the description.
I mean, like, that actually kind of...
That pretty much gets it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you need to know is that they have a history. And again, this is, like, very beginning of the book, so I'm not spoiling anything.
Yeah, you find this out very early.
Yeah, is that they went to college together, and they were kind of adversaries in college, because they were in the same writing program together at U of M.
Right. But he had taken time between...
Yeah, because he was a little older than her.
He was a little older, like maybe 2 or 3 years older than her.
Excuse me. And the other thing you need to know is that she is... And again, this happens very early in the book, is that you find out that her father, whose beach house is she staying in, was having an affair on her mother, and he has since passed. And so she learns of this beach house from the other woman, who gives her a letter and a key. And the key is to the house. And so... other than that, really... Because if we get too far... Well, I guess we could talk a little bit about... So, what each of them to decide to write about. Because that does move the plot along. So she decides to... Because she argues that she's more women's fiction than romance. Even though she does like happy ever after endings. Happily ever afters. And that he's going to write a romance novel because all he writes is like
doom and gloom.
Right. Jonathan Franzen sort of bullshit.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Hang on.
Oh, are you going to pull the quote about how like he wants to write like Hemingway?
Yes. Yeah. Hang on. I'm going to pull up this amazing quote. When they finally their meet cute, like, it's funny.
It is. Yes.
It's very funny. But then, like, so they meet not realizing who the other is. Or at least she doesn't realize who he is when they first meet. Because it's dark outside. So then, like, the next day or something, soon after, she runs into him in town. She says... This is how this exchange goes. You never told me what you write, Everett. I'm sure it's something really groundbreaking and important. Totally new and fresh. Like a story about a disillusioned white guy wandering the world, misunderstood and coldly horny. A laugh barked out of him. Coldly horny, as opposed to the very artfully handled sexual proclivities of your genre. Tell me, which do you find more fascinating to write? Love-struck pirates or love-struck werewolves? And now I was seething again. Well, it's not really about me so much as what my readers want. What's it like writing Hemingway circle jerk fan fiction? Do you know all of your readers by name? Circle jerk fan fiction.
The other one that I liked, where he's talking about, like, they're talking about the worst reviews of their books.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I like the ones that explain what I was trying to do. Like, the author was trying to write Franzen, but he's no Franzen. I pantomime gagging myself, and Ghost covered his eyes until I stopped. But were you trying to write Franzen? He laughed. No, January, I'm trying to write good books that sound like Salinger. That, I cracked up so hard.
This book made me laugh.
I laughed a lot. I did. I laughed a lot.
Their banter is fantastic.
Their banter is really good. I mean, yeah, the circle jerk one, hysterical. So, like, even her best friend Shadi, they have a term for him, and it is sexy. What was it? Segs. Oh shoot.
Sexy evil.
Sexy evil Gus, sometimes abbreviated as Seg. I was minorly decided with him and his prose. So he's decided that yes, he's going to try to write a romance novel centered around a death cult, because that's how at one point I was wondering, is he just putting the death cult on back burner, and he's going to write this other romance novel?
Right, because that's a discussion that they had at one point. Like, he hadn't decided yet, because he is specifically, while he's been living in this town, has been researching this cult.
Right.
That, like,
which he kind of lied to her, is that he had been living there before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But she thinks it's just the last 5 years.
Right.
And it just happened. But I think that what happened, I think the cult happened within the last 5 years. I think that might have been what the whole issue was.
Kind of recent.
Yeah. And I think for that, I mean, that's pretty much the crux of the book, is that, the things that they find out about each other along the way. And her dealing with her father.
Fallout of her dad's death and figuring out what the hell's going on and all that.
And whether she's, the happily ever after anymore person. Yeah. So, okay. So what we do on this podcast is we do a compliment sandwich, where the top bun and bottom bun are the things that we loved about the book. Our meat or meat substitute, or whatever you'd like to call it. A pizza slice, as my last review was. It was unfortunately the cheese, but we all know the fucking cheese. No, not the cheese. It was the sauce. And I said, sometimes sauce can be the worst if there's too much of it on a pizza. So,
yeah.
There we go. I had to talk about pizzas because that book talking about pizzas all the time. And
oh, no, I want pizza.
I know. It's the only thing I can really taste.
God damn it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I think it's, I don't know, whatever. I can taste on the sides of my mouth. Anywho. So the con is going to be, your meat. So, that being said, Veronica.
Yes, dear.
Give me give me your top bun.
Okay, so my top bun, and I seriously have 1.5 billion quotes that could perhaps demonstrate this, so I will try and keep it chill. My top bun is Emily Henry's writing.
Yeah.
Her prose is really fantastic. And but in every possible way, from the things that she's writing about, to the topics that she chooses, to the complexity of her characters, to the actual style of her writing, is so good. Like, so good. To the point where I recognize that this is, it's a romance novel about writers. But, it
wasn't just a romance novel, though.
Right. It almost felt like I was reading a great American novel inside of.
It's when she makes the claim in about not just being a romance, she's woman's fiction. Part of me thought that was Emily Henry making her own point.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, because it wasn't. I could put this on the level, more romance than this other book I'm going to mention, but I could put this on level with adulting.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, if you look at the definition of a romance novel, it is that there is a romantic plot of some kind, even if it's a subplot. Because really, you could argue that the entire purpose of this book is her working her own shit out. She is trying to figure out what and we'll talk about this when we get to my bottom bun also, but she's trying to figure out like what her life looks like now because her entire worldview has been toppled on its head. And so she's trying to work through this and then just happens to end up living next to this dude that she used to have a thing for in college, and she just thought that he hated her. So like, because he was a pretentious dick, you know. So like, there is a romantic plot to it, like a romantic aspect to the plot, and then the second qualifier is that there is some sort of happily for now or happily ever after at the end of it. Like the couple ends up together. Right. So could it be classified as a romance novel? Sure, but it's, as in adulting, like that is not the most important part.
Right. It's just self-discovery.
It's self-discovery, and I mean, to that, well, we'll talk about that more when we get to the bottom bun. But I did want to read or get to a few quotes maybe. So, because seriously, her writing style is just so fucking good. So we'd already talked about one of the other things that is central to January is that her mother has battled breast cancer twice.
Right.
And is still living, and is, as far as we can tell, actually, I'm not sure if she says it, maybe she does, but she's in remission, she's doing okay. But she has had breast cancer 2 times. The second time resulted, she had a mastectomy. Her parents were married her whole life until he died. So the other thing that she's having a hard time with is like, my dad was cheating on my mom while she had fucking cancer.
Yeah.
Like, because she was always very close to her dad. And now she's seeing him as like this different... Okay, we're going to talk about that later. Anyway, this is from kind of early on. This is in chapter 9. Hundreds of nights I'd chosen not to cry. Thousands of moments I'd worried about worrying. That if I did it, I'd make things worse for my parents. That I needed to be strong. That I needed to be happy so I wouldn't drag them down. All those years when I was terrified my mother would die, I'd tucked every ugly thing out of sight to transform my life into a shiny window display for her benefit. I'd made my parents laugh. I'd made them proud. I'd brought home solid grades, fought tooth and nail to keep up with Gus Everett. I'd stayed up late reading with Dad and gotten up early to pretend I liked yoga with Mom. I told them about my life, asked them endlessly about theirs, so I'd never regret wasting time with them. And I hid the complicated feelings that came with trying to memorize someone you loved, just in case.
Yeah.
It's like, this book was extremely relatable to me, both because of the way that she writes and then also because of the complicated feelings that she was writing about.
Right.
And what she's going through.
And not having had to experience that, I still felt like it was relatable because I have lost people. So you still get that feeling of you trying to, but not to this extent, where you're watching someone and you're hoping and praying and you, like she said, memorizing them for when they're not here.
Right. Well, and the way that she writes makes that palpable for you. I mean, it's how do I say this? Like it makes you sympathetic or empathetic.
You empathize with her.
You know, like you feel it, how she feels. Yeah. It's very relatable.
Absolutely.
Another thing she's questioning with her family. I wanted to know whether you could ever fully know someone. If knowing how they were, how they moved and spoke, and the faces they made, and the things they tried not to look at amounted to knowing them, or if knowing things about them, where they'd been born, all the people they'd been, who they'd loved, and the worlds they'd come from added up to anything. It's like, this book is secret philosophical.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, and I say that because I didn't know that coming into it. Like, I really thought I was just going to read a book about, like, a woman having a hard time and, like, going to a beach for the summer.
I told you I was going to read that freaking Battle Royale book. I'm like, I just wanted to read a book about two bakers making fucking cookies. And all of a sudden there's an ant dying. And I'm
crying in the kitchen.
I'm crying in the fucking kitchen. Not this time. That was Nicholas Brown's book.
Oh, right.
But still, I was still crying. I'm like, God bless America. What is happening? But yeah, no, this one, you knew what I got. I was like, I am crying. I am crying. We're not going to talk about why I was crying. But
no. But we both cried during the cry. And I finished it before you, and I was like, I'm sobbing.
Yeah.
Like, sobbing. I'll read one more quote about her prose, and then we can move on. I felt a little empty, a little light, happy. Not giddy or overjoyed, but that low, steady level of happiness that, in the best periods of life, rides underneath everything else, a buffer between you and the world you are walking over. I was happy to be here, doing nothing with Gus, and even if it was temporary, it was enough for me to believe that someday I'd be okay again. Maybe not the exact same brand of it, maybe not the exact same brand of it I'd been before Dad died. Probably not. But a new kind, nearly as solid and safe. She's so good. What's your top bun?
I'm going to read a quote to get into my top bun, and I'm probably stealing something from you, but I'm going to read.
Do it.
I had to force myself to look directly at him. He looked just like he did in his author photo, all sharp cheekbones, furiously dark eyes, and then leanly muscled arms of a gravedigger turned novelist. He was wearing a rumpled blue or faded black t-shirt and rumpled blue or faded black jeans, and his hair had started streaking through with gray, along with the just past 5 o'clock shadow around his crooked mouth. This is January Andrews, Pete announced. She's a writer, just moved here. My pro is Augustus Everett.
I love that.
There's times where Gus, you want to punch him. You want to punch him. And then there's times where you feel for Gus so hard.
God, I just wanted to, like,
oh my God, he's had a rough life, man. He's had a rough life. And I don't want to ruin anything because I want you guys to feel like we both at one point said, you started and said, I wish I could go back and, like, forget that I read the book and read it. I said, yeah, like, there's been,
I want eternal sunshine of the spotless minded out of my mind and start over.
And I've had other books like that too, where I'm like, there's points where something has been said where, and I knew exactly what you meant when I got to this certain point where Gus makes a revelation, which I knew was coming, but still the way he reveals it, I thought to myself, oh, I wish I could go back and read this totally clean again.
I wish I could experience it all over again.
Because he's complicated. He's not like a normal hero, but he's one that we all kind of wish we had because he's a good dude. Deep down, he's a good
dude who, while scarred and, like, seriously has had some shit, also is very self-aware of that shit. And is like, I don't know, to me, that makes it more, like, he appreciates her more. That, like, she is this person who makes him want to figure his shit out.
Yes,
because he doesn't want that temporary shit with her.
Yeah, because there's other things that have happened that we find out he has history with, where when they are getting very serious, you're like, he's trying. He's really trying.
He's trying.
And there's times where she says things that you're like, oh my God, just give him a fucking chance. Like, you know where he's coming from.
Right.
You know, and there's things, and you and I can talk about this afterwards, because I want to talk about this a little bit, but I don't want to spoil anything. It's something happens, and he's so completely honest with her that I'm like, I think most of us would be like, fuck that dude, but at the same time we're like, yeah, but I totally don't blame him.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is book the Q&A. not the Q&A, something happens there, and then his revelations to her, and I'm like, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. And so Henry has given us a hero that is completely relatable, somebody that you could be like totally friends with, because he's not like he's not super sexy, like he's not hot, like it's not one of those like books where I'm like, you know, Jack Devlin or what's his face from Sleepless in Sicily, and not like holy shit, Rowan. And it's not like, you know, holy God, are they hot? It's just,
he's not like jacked. I mean, she describes him as
he's
being
handsome.
Like very attractive.
Handsome. I mean,
but he's not ripped.
He's handsome in like this 30-year-old author sort of handsome. Yeah.
Right. Yes, exactly. I mean, he's not like, we said that before, like, Babe is sitting at a computer all day. Okay?
Right.
Like he's
not working out.
He's not lifting in the morning.
He's literally smoking in this book, drinking a lot of beer, and not doing much. So he's not going to be looking like, you know, fucking...
He's not getting up for like 5 mile runs in the morning.
He's not looking like Captain America and America's ass. Boom. We haven't done our obligatory Captain America's ass. Okay, so there it is. The other thing is that I love that you gave Bucky his middle name of Sebastian. So
yeah, Bucky's middle name is Sebastian. I just decided it. I don't know what it actually is.
I think we joked that it was Cornelius, but I like Sebastian better. So, but yeah, he's definitely my top one, because I was like, you know,
Gus is great,
and I see parallels too.
He seems like a real person. Well, you know, like sometimes, I mean, let's be real about this. Sometimes you read romance novels and you're like, this person does not exist.
Right, like
this person in real life will never exist. No one like this exists. But like reading Augustus Everett,
you know, it's really funny.
I can see it, man.
Of like Sarah Hogel, like that Twice Shy. The hero in that one is another one. I can't think of his name right now. Is where he had super social anxiety, like he had horrible social anxiety disorder, which we know people like that. So it was very relatable. Somebody, and he wasn't like same sort of way. Like he wasn't jacked. He wasn't like super hot. I mean, he was supposed to be good looking, but like nothing like this overall babe, like totes babe. So that was enjoyable. It was very much refreshing to me that we didn't have this guy that took, as soon as he took off his shirt, like fucking panties were wet.
We're melting off.
Yeah. So, Augustus, and I don't want to say too much about it because it's like I don't want to ruin things. So.
Yeah, no, I don't want to ruin. There's so many like really beautiful things that you learn about him throughout the book that.
Yeah, and there are things that are going to piss you off. Like there'll be things that will.
Oh yeah, there are absolutely things that will piss you off.
But then you realize why he said this or what he's doing, and because he explains himself, and I think that's the thing. Is like they fight. I'm not a spoiler here. They fight a couple times.
They argue. It is hysterical. They have like a couple like yelling fights.
And he forces her, because this the other thing is like and maybe that'll be my. You know what? I'm gonna go. That'll be my con, because my con was good. My con was gonna be like this bitch cries all the time, like constantly. But the other time is that a lot of times she doesn't listen to him, and she doesn't give him a chance to explain himself. Yeah. She automatically goes to the worst version of him. She's been doing that since college. And she's the one who is ruining this relationship numerous times because she doesn't give him the benefit of the doubt and doesn't listen. And I guess it should be a con, but
it's her preconceived notions of what she expects him to be, or what. Now, to be fair, he makes some comments earlier on in the book that lead her to believe he is still that way.
Right. But, and then, again, I won't say anything because I don't want to spoil anything. I know. But.
I know.
So, to her detriment, and I say it's a con because we are saddled with her.
You don't get dual perspective. This is all from her, which I do think.
Works.
I think it works. It totally works for this. Like, I didn't actually miss it. You're so.
I've been spoiled big time.
Oh, for sure. But the thing is, like, and Mariana Zapata does this too, where you never get the male perspective, but like, except for Lingus on her website, you can get some.
Yeah, we did.
But
what?
Yeah, we did. But like,
Adam and Eve, what?
What? Don't blame you in the slightest. Probably not kidding. So the thing is, like, when you have a solo perspective. Yes, I do. You have a solo perspective because this is the genre we're discussing. It's always from the women's perspective, which is great. But then, like, it in many ways leads to more confusion from the reader's standpoint and more misunderstandings, which can add to the tension of the book.
Right.
You know? So I feel like sometimes it's warranted. And I think there are times when something like this, where specifically January is like so fucking in her head because she is dealing with all of this shit. She is definitely depressed.
These are two specimens who needed to talk to somebody for reals. Because I joke that girls crying all the time. I mean, like, she needed to talk to somebody besides texting with her best friend. She needed to talk to a professional.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I mean, the amount of, like, and neither of us are saying that from a standpoint of, like, she needs help. No, like, we're not judging her.
She's going through a traumatic experience.
Girlfriend is going through a lot of shit.
And she needs somebody who doesn't have a bias to say, this is what's happening. This is why this is happening. This is kind of why you're feeling this way. And
here are some ways to deal with that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And in, like, a healthy manner, perhaps. And on top of all of that, the only person that she can talk to about, or that she wants to talk to about any of this, is her mom, and her mom will not discuss it with her. So, like, there is no one. She has no one.
It becomes Gus. And
yeah,
I don't know if Gus realized what he was getting into.
Probably not.
Because he's got a lot of his own shit going on.
Oh, he's got a lot of his own shit going on.
So it was not the best time for the two to meet. Probably.
Right. Probably not.
But yeah, there's times where it's just this, you know, and just normal in a book miscommunication when you're like, listen, just give the dude a break, or listen to him and, like, let him explain what he means instead of jumping to the first conclusion. So that was my con.
It was hard to come up with something that I didn't like about this book.
Yeah.
I will say, okay, so the only part that I got kind of annoyed with sometimes was that, and maybe this is like an attention span issue, but there are lengthy periods of the novel where there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
You know, where it's her talking about her book, which was great because she's writing a book.
I
loved reading about that.
I was okay with that. I was like, okay, whatever, because
it was fine. Like I said, I had to really think about something that I didn't like about this, because in the end, I think it was fine. It was just that, like, I wanted Gus, because you're not getting Gus's perspective. Exactly. So then, like, I wanted to get back to Gus. I was like, what's Gus doing right now?
It was, where's Poochie?
Gus has been gone
Where'd Poochie go?
Right, like, I mean, Gus has been gone for a week. Like, can we please get back to Gus? Get back to Gus. You know, like,
I mean,
you know, and she's alone in this house.
And honestly,
and she has no friends.
I'm going to be a total dickhead and say that her book idea, I didn't care for it. But that was, like, my own thing, because the circus.
But right, circus, exactly.
Whatever. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail, sorry.
No, it's fine. But honestly, like, this book was so fucking good. Like, it was really hard for me to come up with. I had to rack my brain to, like, really pick something out that I didn't
like. Well, because, even my con's really not a con, except for bitch cries all the time. But,
bitch knows cry all the time.
But again, she needed to talk to somebody. If she needed to talk to somebody. But at the same time, like, I want to be like, okay, I don't need 42 scenes of her crying. Like, I need something going on. Something going on. I know she's crying. Yeah. I get it, because I'd be crying too. But no, I can totally get it. Like, even my con. I mean, yes, there's miscommunication, but that's also called a novel. So that's, that's how it works. Yeah. Do you have another pro for me?
Of course I do. Are you kidding me?
You have like 7, right? I got like 142. Okay. That was my 40s radio go. What do you think we're doing here, sir?
Now see here.
You gotta talk really fast though. I'm working in a newsroom here, see? There was a Saturday Night Live sketch with Zooey Deschanel where she played like this intrepid reporter from the 40s. All right, sir, what do you think about that? What do you think about that, sir?
No doubt she could do that. I can hear her doing it in my head. On a side note, this is not a pro, although it's something I enjoyed about the novel, so January is originally from Ohio.
Yes, she is.
And Emily Henry lives in Cincinnati.
She does.
So it was awesome to like, I could tell that Emily lives or has lived in Ohio for a good portion of her life, because there are things that come up that like, here, let me have time to find the one. There are things that come up that I was like, no one who is not from Ohio would ever know that. Okay, here it is.
Also, second book in a row about Ohio.
Wait, what was that? Oh, Totally Folk. That's right. Okay. So she's in this situation that like is so fucking awkward. But she says, I twisted off the top of the wine and poured it down my throat right there in the nautical themed bathroom. I considered leaving, but for some reason that seemed like the most embarrassing option. Still, it occurred to me that I could walk right out the door, get in the car, and drive to Ohio without stopping. I'd never have to see any of these people ever again. I could get a job at Ponderosa Steakhouse. Life could be grand. Or I could just stay in this bathroom forever. I had wine, I had a toilet. What else did one need?
Which made me think, along with the Ponderosa Steakhouse and the Sandstorm, I was like, what year is this?
Yes.
What year is this?
I know.
Because guess what? There's no Ponderosa. There's one Ponderosa.
There are no
Ponderosa.
Where is the last Ponderosa?
While you're talking, I'm going to look it up.
Oh, I feel like I talked about this with someone recently.
There's one left.
There are so many Ohio references that just like really made me happy.
I just wanted Warren.
That's right.
Fucking Warren, man. One. I told my friend once that I hated Warren. I don't really know if I hate Warren, but ever since then he's
it's
like
by Youngstown, right?
You know, fucking Warren.
I'm just kidding. I don't care. I think I've been there once. There's even a joke right here. So she's talking about how her parents met. She's telling Gus how her parents met. And she says their freshman year at Ohio State. And he says, oh, not the Ohio State University? He teased. Michiganders, because this takes place in Michigan, and Ohioans had a major rivalry I often forgot about due to my total ignorance of sports. Dad's brothers had lovingly referred to him as the Great Defector, and he had teased me with the same nickname when I chose U of M, because they went to the University of Michigan. I did enjoy all of the Ohio references. So anyway, that's, believe it or not my pro. My bottom bun is the portrayal of how complicated our relationships with our parents can be, especially as we get older. And like, there's a point in your life, if you are lucky enough to still speak to your parents and have a good relationship with your parents, that you realize that they are people.
Yeah.
They're not like these infallible
Paragons
creatures,
of
like
caretaking.
Right. I mean, right. Like you realize, oh, they are just people too. I had this moment when my daughter was very, very young. I mean, she's still young, but like much smaller. Where I realized just how flawed this system is, because I was like, they're going to let me walk out of this hospital with a newborn, and I don't have the first fucking clue. I mean, I've like read the books and shit, but like, it's so, even from literally the first night we were in the hospital with her, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
Literally, I think
this child.
everyone's, I mean,
Like,
I don't have children, but from what I understand, everyone who has them, it's like, no one fucking knows.
No one knows. That's the secret,
is,
by
yes,
the way,
no
to
one
parenting.
knows.
If you want children, and are hoping to have them, or if you are currently pregnant, no one knows what they're doing. Stop asking. It's not even worth it.
Yeah.
Like, no one knows what
Dr.
they're doing.
Spock
It's
was
just
great, but guess what? He didn't actually carry the baby, so
no one fucking knows what they're doing, and every kid is different and every person is different. And so by the time you're an adult, you realize that maybe your parents don't always know what's best for you.
right.
And maybe your parents also made really terrible mistakes. And maybe they have done things that they are worried you will be ashamed of them for.
Right.
You know, there's just like, there are so many things that as people, we fuck up. And then we just have to like hope the people in our lives are like love us enough to forgive us for
Right.
these things. And then for her dad is dead. She can't talk to him about any of these things that are really heavy and are making her question everything in her life. Every fucking thing. And the experience that I found this entire thing with her, like everything she believes being upended, so relatable because I have also gone through that, and it's not at all the same circumstances under which she went through it, but there was when I was 20 years old, like everything about what I believed in, about enduring love and about marriage and the concept of it was completely fucking tossed out the window. And I had to like reconstruct a concept of what a long-term relationship looked like in my brain.
Right.
And it was not, I wouldn't say it was a healthy concept that I came up with, you know, but like I've had many, many years of therapy to work that out. But at the time it was just like, I really understood her in that first couple years, like past when that happened for me. I was a fucking disaster of a human. Like just a disaster, because everything that I had believed for like the previous 15 years of my life was wrong. And so like getting to that, and it was like a parental figure. It was not my dad, but like it was just so fucking hard to get to a place where I felt like, I mean, I don't even know how to describe that, but like Gus helps her through that, which I thought was awesome. Especially from where he was coming from, which is nowhere where she's coming from. But the way that he talked about it with her was like, I loved that. And it also made me cry. But something that like we don't, like we already said, no one knows what they're doing. But it's such a massive responsibility to be a parent. And one of our mutual friend, Gigi, had told me at one point, again, when I was a brand new parent, she said, whether we like it or not, good or bad, as a parent, you are the most influential person that will ever be in your child's life, ever. Right. And the reason for that is that you are going to spend, hopefully, the first 18 years of your life with them, of their lives with them, and then hopefully many, many years after. But you're going to live with them. You are going to see them more than anyone else. And yes, that is a major responsibility. But like when you get to be, how old was she when this happened? Like 26, 27?
When her dad died?
Yeah.
No, because she's 28, right?
Is she 28? So she's like 27 when her dad dies or something like that?
No, when we see her, it hasn't been that long.
A year. I thought it had been a year. Maybe
I don't
not.
think so. I don't remember.
Oh, because she does talk about like her 28th birthday or 29th birthday. Okay. So she's in like in her late 20s. She's not 30 yet. But like believing one thing about a parent for 20 plus year, almost 30 years, and then finding out that that's not correct. And how do you reconcile like the way that you loved your dad until you found out? Like, she's like, I still miss my dad. And I'm also so mad at him. And that's such a complex thing to portray. And I thought that Emily Henry did so very well with it. Like, it was painful reading some of that stuff. Like, really, really painful. So, yeah, that's my other pro, is, like, the just the relationship. And she's having a hard time with her mom, too.
Yeah, because her mom won't talk about it. So, which
because her mom
totally
will not
get
talk about it.
100%. But at the same time,
yeah,
it's hampering her journey to closure.
Right. What's your bottom bump?
We've kind of touched on it, but I'm going to bring it up again. Is how fucking funny this book is.
God, this book is so goddamn funny.
It's very. I mean, I have tons and tons of quotes. She goes to this. She thinks she's being asked to a book club to speak, and when
oh my fucking god,
and then she gets there, and then Augustus shows up, and she's like, "Oh fuck, we gotta listen to him talk about his book." And then they both realize, no, neither of them are talking about their books. They were invited to a spy book, spy like,
yep,
spy. What was it called? Red, white.
Oh, Red, White Russians and
blue book club. Yep. And everything was...
What does she call it? She calls it something
I don't know, but
else.
he kept saying, like, God bless America, God bless Jack Reacher. For liberty and Jack Reacher.
Yes. Jack Reacher keeps coming up. It's so fucking funny.
I laugh so hard. So I just keep thinking about it, I'm laughing. So
she calls it Spies and Liquefied Pies.
January.
And he says, do you perhaps mean Red, White Russians and Blue Book Club? Because that nickname you just gave it is an affront to literature salons everywhere, not to mention Freedom and America.
Freedom, Liberty, and Jack Reacher. I have seen Jack Reacher for you, I guess. It's not bad.
Have you? I have not.
Fine. So, this is the part where... this is kind of where she realizes it all comes, like, tumbling down on her.
Crashing down.
And then January Andrews, romance writer and literary wunderkind, Augustus Everett, had stumbled into a book club trafficking primarily in spy novels. It took some effort to stifle my laughter, and even then I didn't do an amazing job. January, Pete said. Is everything all right? Spectacular, I said. I think I just had too much purse wine. Purse wine got me. That got me. Because I've done it. Done it. Augustus, you better take it from here. I held the bottle out to him. He lifted one stern, dark eyebrow. I imagined I wasn't quite smiling, but managed to look victorious nonetheless as I waited for him to accept a 2/3 strong Chardonnay. I thought about it some more, Maggie said airily, and I think I did like the identical twin. Somewhere a Labrador farted. There was just, I mean, it really was so fucking funny.
Also, hang on. You have to get to the end of that chapter.
That's the end of the chapter.
Oh, no, that is the end.
You know,
okay.
She talks earlier about, like, the dog farting.
About the Labrador farting, right.
She's like, oh, so the other part that I love, because my mom and I do this all the time. Okay, so she takes him to a Meg Ryan movie fest.
Oh, she does,
which I was like, I would like to go. I want to go to there.
Oh, I would go. I would like to go to there. Same.
And so they're fighting about, because he's like, I can't stand her face, and she's like, well, who are you? Are you American? What's happening? And and he's let's see, so
because he admits that he just doesn't like Meg Ryan's face. Yes. That's what, like.
And then she goes, just wait until you hear how Meg Ryan pronounces horses when she sings Sleigh Ride. I whispered to Gus, your life will be irrevocably changed. And I laughed because my mom and I love Sleeps in Seattle. I mean, we love all Meg Ryan. My dad actually loves Sleep in Seattle and You Got Mail. My dad loves You Got Mail. I don't know. Man.
I also love that movie.
I do too, but my father, hardened police officer, security man, loves You Got Mail. But when
I love that too. I love that about him.
But that horses, we laugh so fucking hard every time that comes up. It's like this White Christmas part. It's horses. So we every single time we laugh, and it hit that relatability button for me. I was like, oh my god, yes, she does say it funny, yes.
I also really love, this is a very underrated movie, but it's a movie that she's in called The Women.
Oh, with yeah.
Ava Mendes is also in it. Jada Pinkett Smith is in it. The entire cast is female. There's not one
it's a remake.
single man.
It's
is
a remake.
It?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that, but
movie.
there's not one single man in the entire movie.
The original is very well known for its, like, because there's a huge fashion scene in it.
Right, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look that up. But regardless, there's this moment where she has had a fight with her husband, who, of course, like, the fight happens off camera. You don't see it because there are no men in the film. But she has this argument with her husband. She comes downstairs and she's talking to, like, her chef and her housemaid because they're fucking loaded. And she is dipping, like, they have no sugar in their house because she has to, like, you know, to maintain her figure. And she's dipping butter in, like, unsweetened cocoa powder or something. Like, I don't even know what it is. Like, she's literally just butter in sugar or something and just eating it straight. And the two of them are just staring at her like, what are you doing? Like, this woman has cracked.
Yeah.
Anyway. Were you done with the Meg Ryan thing? Because I want to pick up.
I mean, I'm sure I have tons of stuff highlighted, but you go.
So after the purse wine incident, because now she's fucking drunk, because she basically hasn't had anything to eat all day, and she's had 2/3 of a bottle of Chardonnay out of her purse. He's trying to get her to let him drive her home, because of course they live next door to each other. So he's like, please let me drive you home because you're drunk. And she's like, I'll just Uber. There's literally an Uber driver.
Who's
one
blind?
Uber driver.
Who's partially blind.
Who's like maybe blind. So they have this whole exchange where, like, he's trying to get her to get in the car and she won't do it. Because she says, like, he'll be here in 4 minutes. And he's like, whatever. So he gets in the car and he waits. It's been 4 minutes. No Uber's coming. Would you please get in the car? I'll walk. Why? Because I need the exercise, I said. Not to mention the pneumonia. It's 65 degrees out, I said. You're literally shivering. Maybe I'm trembling with the anticipation of an exhilarating walk home. Maybe your body temperature is plummeting and your blood pressure and heart rate are dropping as your skin tissue is breaking up as it freezes. Are you kidding? My heart is positively racing. I just sat on a 3-hour-long book club meeting about spy novels. I need to run off some of this adrenaline. I started down the sidewalk. Wrong way, Gus called. I spun on my heel and started in the other direction, back past Gus's car. His mouth twisted in the dim light of the console. You do realize we live 7 miles from here. At your current pace, that puts your arrival at about never. You're going to walk into a bush and quite possibly spend the rest of your life here, your life there. That's actually the perfect amount of time I'll need to sober up. I was laughing so hard through that entire thing. I have a note in here that says this entire exchange. Oh,
like there was large swaths of this book that I just highlighted.
Oh, and then she finally gets in the car. And she says, just to be clear, I said, you're not talking about sex stuff, are you? His smile twisted. No, January, I'm not talking about sex stuff. You better not be. I opened the passenger door and slid onto the seat, pressing my fingers to the warm vents, because I carry pepper spray in this tote. And a gun. What the fuck? He cried, putting the car in park. You're drunk with a gun flopping around in your wine bag?
That's like the first. She talks about having a gun on numerous occasions.
With a gun in your wine bag. I buckled my seatbelt. It was a joke. The gun part, not the killing you if you try something part. I meant that.
I found all the Jack Reachers, FYI.
Oh, thank God. Read me the Jack Reachers.
Sorry, okay, so the first one is, believe whatever you want, January Andrews. He said, Jack Reacher risks his life every day to guarantee you that freedom. And the next one is, his hands were braced against the counter, and he leaned, like always, into it, his mouth curled to a smile. Thanks be to Jack Reacher. I cross my heart, hey man. And the other one, which is the best one, is, we stared at each other for a moment, then started grabbing our clothes off the floor and pulling them on. As we ran up the stairs, Gus grabbed my ass. God, he said again, thank you for this day, Lord, and also Jack Reacher. But the one, what was the one I wanted to read you? Because I thought, okay, I remember what it was now. I highlighted this because I don't know if she meant it like the way she wrote it, but the first thing I thought was of you and I. So, okay. I love, so she's talking to Shadi at this point. Shady shot. I think it's shoddy. I think I would. I think
shady. I think
she probably is Indian. I would assume.
Okay.
No, you don't. I tease, and a slow smile spread across her face. I love both and despise falling in love. Same. I said, men are the worst. The worst.
Yes. Yes. I thought of it too.
I was like, Mona Lisa Saperstein.
Yes. It was my first thought with Mona Lisa.
Yeah. Jean-Ralphio.
The worst. Yep.
Yeah. So those are those. Yeah, it was. If you guys haven't guessed, it's really funny. It's so funny.
Oh my god, it is so funny. She also makes an analogy at one point about her being a bunny.
Yes, dumb bunny. Which it was a Zootopia.
Stupid bunny.
Yeah, it's a Zootopia reference.
Is
I think
it?
so.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Because she says in Zootopia, "Don't be a dumb bunny." Yeah.
Oh god, that was so funny. Oh.
Guys, it's funny. It's a funny book.
Oh, guys, it's really funny. This book, I both laughed and cried.
Yeah.
Like, when I finished the book, I was laying in bed with my husband, and he was, like, playing a game on his phone, and I'm, like, finishing this book and crying. And he just looks at me, and he goes, "You were laughing 8 seconds ago."
That's how emotional it is, okay?
And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. You married a sociopath. Like,
Yeah, right?
I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I said it's worth it. Trust me. Like, it was worth it.
I hope they make. This is one that I think that they can make a movie about. Like,
oh, please do.
I think that would be actually
Please make a movie.
Really good.
Please make a feature
movie. Okay, Tosca. This is something you want to make a fucking movie about. And you don't need you don't need special effects, bitch. Come on. I'd rather read this or watch this 20 times over than half the garbage that you have just taken.
Yeah, but don't fuck this up because this is really good.
Well, they haven't.
I'll cry.
When it's something that's actually decent, they haven't really fucked it up. I watched The Will and they didn't really screw that one up. That's actually a decent book. It's weird. I mean, the concept of it is different, but they did a nice job with it. And there was no mermaids or anything on that one.
There's one quote that kind of shows like how different they feel about writing and writing styles and what happily ever after means. He says, if I were hit by a meteor while in the car with you, yes, I would still think I went out on a high note. I know, it's like so sweet, but also like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Well, what does he call her in college? And that like kind of stuck in her craw.
A fairy princess? Yeah. Was it fairy princess?
Fairy princess.
Yeah. Because it pissed her
off.
off.
Because she's like the manic. It's a reference to the manic pixie dream girl. So that's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Ugh, this book. Eternal Sunshine. Get that fucking clinic going.
Yeah,
man.
I know. I know. I will absolutely, 1, purchase the paperback, and 2, reread this multiple times. This book is so good. And I had told you, like, books, because I write, like, books that are about writers get me. Like, they get me real hard.
Oh.
The same with Between the Pages from Amanda Richardson. Like,
I found that
they rip me apart and then put me back together.
Well, you'll enjoy her next one that's coming out. So I did find it.
She has a couple about writers.
She does. The one that sounds good to me. I mean, not that the other ones don't sound good to me, but the one that it's coming out in March of 2022. It's called Book
That'll
Lovers.
Be my birthday present. Thank you.
And
thank you.
It is Nora Stevens' Life is Books. She's read them all, and she is not the type of heroine. She's not that type of heroine. Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister Libby. Which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Farms, North Carolina. You had me at North Carolina. For the month of August, when Libby begs for her sister's trip away, with visions of a small-town transformation for Nora, she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story. But instead of picnics in meadows or run-ins with a handsome country doctor or bulging forum bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lostra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It could be a meet-cute, if not the fact that they've met many times and it's never been cute. If Nora knows she's not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero. But as they grow, they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences no editor worth their salt would allow. What they discover might just unravel themselves crafted stories they've written about themselves. So it sounds
Yeah,
very similar to this one, but I'll take it.
I'll take it. Happily.
Enemies to
Happily.
lovers, you just keep throwing them at me. I have a problem.
I know. My God. Like,
I got it. I got some issues.
We definitely have a problem.
I think, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got issues.
It's fine.
I think we all know that at this point that I have issues.
Yep. Would you recommend this book?
Of fucking course I would. This book is so good.
Co-signed. You know what we should do this year? Guys, we're getting close. We're getting close to... Oh my God. We should do a best of.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Anywho. Because we could also include in that best of ones we didn't do on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh my God.
If we were a big podcast and we had like writers and shit, we could have them like Bloody Good Horror does, where they have like everyone submits their best of the year and then they compile a whole big list. But it's just you and me.
If you and I didn't have like actual jobs.
No, most of the people in that podcast have jobs.
Fuck that.
I know.
What kind of jobs are they?
One has...
Wait, are they actors?
No, one has won Emmys for his television. He's a television producer.
Okay,
or
so
editing.
not like a 9-to-5 job is what we're saying. Okay.
No, I mean, like, all of them are pretty, like, down to earth. No one's, like, an actor on that one. No. That's when I was like, hey, Bloody Good Horror, we should guest on your show. It'd be fun. It would have to be a horror movie that you could handle. We could do... Oh, they already did Warm Bodies. I'm like, we could do Warm Bodies. That's... Oh, guess what we're reading for October? I've already read it, but I'll reread it. Anyhow.
I would happily watch The Exorcist and then tell you all why it's not at all scary.
You know what we're going to do? I think I've just decided it, though. Because we needed something for Page to Screen.
I think I would laugh during The Exorcist.
We're not doing The Exorcist. No, we're going to do Warm Bodies.
Okay.
I've read it, so I don't need to reread it. Fantastic. But I think that we should do that one. I think you will like that a lot. It's got Nicholas Hoult in it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just
wrote it down.
Just came to me. All over my face.
I'll bet it did.
Because I'm like, I'm not doing any fucking Twilights. I'm not doing any of that bullshit.
No.
But.
No.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Hearts and Eggplants?
Yes.
Or do you want to take a break and come back? It's up to you, darling.
We'll take a break. And then we'll do all of our recommendations of Stunt Casting when we get back.
Okay, sounds good.
Wonderful. Back in 2 and 2.
BRB, y'all. And we're back.
Hello, guys. We were just talking about Stefan, and it made me laugh.
We were.
If you're just people looking to be murdered, I have the club for you.
Mm-hmm.
Spicy.
Mm-hmm.
New York's
Bill Hader is so funny in that. I mean,
oh my god, and he's
never not funny.
He's never not funny. He's also one of the cutest people on the planet. Ugh. Anyhow,
there's that.
I never got into Barry though. I started watching it. I never really got into it.
I don't even know what that is.
His comedy / his dramedy on HBO, where he plays a hitman that wants to be an actor. It's got the Fonz in it. It's got Henry Winkler in it.
God, Henry Winkler. He was in Parks and Rec.
Oh my god, yeah! Speaking of December scenes.
Lisa's dad, I know.
Speaking of December scenes. Oh.
I'm practically homeless.
Flush with cash.
But I will start a fire in the bathroom.
What's the whole thing about getting hit by a Cadillac?
Oh, God. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Oh, God. Remember when Saturday Night Live was good? Oh.
Yeah.
It goes in phases, though, because, I mean, it was good with, like, when Will Ferrell was on. I mean, we go back farther than that. It was good when, like, Phil Hartman was on, and then...
Right.
Yeah. But I don't care for it at all anymore. I haven't.
No, I haven't watched it in years. No. I like occasionally we'll see a random skit, but
right. When Bill Hader was on it with like Will Forte and Fred Armisen, I was not a fervent watcher. However, every Halloween, like the whole month of Halloween, I will play the Tom Hanks as David Pumpkins because that is one of my favorite. Have you seen that?
I don't think so. Send it to me.
I will send it to you. Yeah.
I will say also it is 1,000% worth reading Tina Fey's memoirs, Bossy Pants, and also Amy Poehler's memoir, Yes Please. Both of them are excellent, and they both talk about SNL a lot.
It's funny, I was watching, and I can't think of the stupid name of that show right now that I was telling you about, but that John Mulaney was on, and they were talking about, like...
I don't know, I'm kind of mad at John Mulaney these days.
He's out of rehab, I guess.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus. So I've been watching a lot of Desus and Mero. And,
oh, right.
And, besides the fact that he cheated on his wife with Rachel Bilson, yeah, that...
and then left his wife and is now, like...
And they're not, and Rachel Bilson and he are not together anymore?
Right, who is he dating?
I don't know.
Olivia Munn?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, because she said she was obsessed with him, like, 11 years ago or something like that.
Fantastic.
Cool, dude. Cool. I mean,
have
you seen his wife?
His wife's gorgeous, and also his wife was leaving... she was posting, like, I don't know if it was like Instagram stories or something like that of Olivia Rodrigo.
Nice.
Like, brutal. Yeah.
So my friend today sent me an article from The Guardian that says, Tom Ellis, the worst thing anyone said to me, you're a disgrace of a man. And I wrote back, I said, I'm guessing that's his wife when she found out that he cheated on her. I said,
ooh,
I get
burn.
it. I said, I think he's beautiful, but I don't have time for cheaters. Nobody got time for cheaters. Again,
no.
I'm never going to meet him. I'm never going to see him on the street. So I can fantasize as much as I want. Same thing with John Mulaney. I'm never going to meet John Mulaney. It's fine. It's fine. Tall drink of water. Anywho.
Also applicable to this fucking book.
Yes. Okay.
I kind of hate her dad a little bit. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very conflicted. Okay, so the other thing we do on this podcast is we give some ratings. So we do hearts and again, I want to say hearts and stars. What the fuck is wrong with me?
We do not do hearts and stars.
We do not do stars and bars. Stars. There's no stars and bars. There's no hearts and whatever.
There's no bars. There's no stars. In fact, it's only hearts and eggplants.
There are. So if you couldn't figure out from our reference what they were, ours is the romance novel or romance quotient, and then level, and then the eggplants are the sexiness, the hot
the spiciness.
Yeah, it should be like a
chili peppers,
chili pepper fucking a eggplant. There we go. That's what it should be.
There you go.
Eggplant and a chili pepper humping. Anywho, so what is your heart level on this one? Should give out your heart light.
I'm so sad that no one else got to see what I just saw. I feel bad for all of you for many reasons, but you you missed out on that.
Yeah, impression.
So I said, and this is like this is my own thing, and of course, like all book reviews are subjective, right?
Right.
But like, I am a writer. Like, I am a sucker for a man with words. Like, sucker for it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I went hardcore 4 on this.
I did too!
Like, holy shit, Gus, you kill me.
There's a grand gesture.
Kill me, man.
There's a GG here.
There's a grand gesture that is very, like, he listened to her so hard.
There's a beautiful revelation. There's a couple beautiful revelations. And there's a grand gesture.
Yes.
So I'm 100% with you on that one. I co-sign to the fucking fullest.
Yes, like when he'll banter with her all day. But when it comes to like real talk, he's a man of few words. But when he says them, he packs a fucking punch.
And you can tell from the beginning, it's not it's not instant love, but not on her part. But you can tell there's something there from the beginning. So he's got to put in the work. And he does. He puts in the work. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, just, there's a particular quote, like a discussion that they have about, like, how you know you love someone. And they talk about I'll bring up the quote.
Oh, can we also talk about who says it first?
Yes, of course we can.
Because I mean, again, I mean, it's a romance novel, so come on, guys.
Right.
But he says it
come on,
first.
guys.
He says it first. How often do you see that? Like, but he
and
says,
the way that he says it is like, so, I don't want to give it away.
No.
But like the
And
way he says it is so fucking sweet.
He says it pretty early, like not like halfway through, but like he says it earlier than I expected him to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. They talk about like one of the ways that you can gauge how you feel about a person, because there are a lot of discussions about like what does happily ever after mean, and how do you know that like that this is a person you want to spend a lot of time with, is whether or not like when you watch a person sleep,
yes,
if you feel overwhelmed that they exist.
Yeah.
And like,
because she brings it up.
Me, yeah, like she brings it up, and then it comes up later.
It literally, the girl has been going through some things. I mean,
yeah, the girl's been going through. Oh, yeah, like this is. We talked about like her dad dying and like realizing that like he was.
Yeah,
her fucking boyfriend breaks up with her
in a hot tub. In a hot tub on a family vacation with his family.
Her mom's reaction to that was fucking hysterical.
Oh, what'd she call him? Shit weasel.
She called him like a
shit weasel.
Cock weasel or something.
Shit weasel.
Was it a shit weasel? Hang on, I'll find it. Oh fuck, that was so funny.
I'll look it up. You do what you're doing.
Anyway, it was just like
shit weasel.
So shit weasel. Yes. It was just like like I said, he really packs a punch when he actually does it, and the grand gesture is just so fucking perfect, and like, I can't really say much more than that because I don't want to give it away, but like, oh god, Gus.
Dancing.
Well,
We're just gonna say there's
not a
some
sexy
dancing.
name. Like Augustus is such a sexy name. There's a lot of dancing actually in this book.
Yeah. Well, in particular.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, this one is.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was like seriously like the grand gesture I wanted from Boyfriend material. Which, FYI, there's the cover of Husband material has been released.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll look it up. Oh my god, I'm so excited for that.
So I get co-signed on that one. So let's go to. I agree completely, 100%.
Talk to me about your eggplants.
Hit me in the face with some eggplants.
We're sorry, Mom.
I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Oh, she just finished My Kind of Perfect. I'll have to ask.
Okay.
Because she told me last night, she said, I'm going to go finish the book.
That one is another one I'd like
She was like, tell me she doesn't do the nude scene. And I was like, I'm not telling you shit. Just read the book.
Oh, I kind of want to go back and read that one again. I liked it a lot. Anywho, I want to read...
It was really good.
I would like to go back and reread a lot of our books.
Yeah, I know.
That was one of them, definitely.
Yeah, it was good.
So, I'm going to say... Although there is a lot of... I mean, there's not a lot of sex, but there's a couple of sex scenes. I'm still going to say 3. I don't think it was like... There was nothing... It was hot, but they weren't like... Like, I have read a couple books in the last few days that have been... Holy shit.
Yes. Yes. After we're done, I will tell you about an arc that I'm reading.
Yeah. So this one's kind of like... tame in that sort of. I mean, they're very loving, and sensitive, but it's not
beautifully written.
Yeah,
beautifully written, but it's not like super explicit. I also said 3 because it's like it's very beautiful, but it's also not stupid explicit.
And it's right where it should be. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Very natural.
It's perfect for this book.
They've waited, and it's not that I'm giving anything. No one like goes right into it and has sex. I'm not slut shaming anybody. I'm just saying like they've built up the tension enough where the denouement is perfect. The climax, they climax. We all climax. It's great.
Yeah, we all do. Everyone does.
Yeah.
But like, there's also there's enough tension built up that like when it finally happens, like she even says, like, it feels desperate.
Yeah.
It feels like it was inevitable. Like, this was going to
leading
happen.
to something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's get to our stunt casting. So,
yes, let's do that.
Again, if you've never listened to our podcast before, again, welcome.
Welcome.
Yes. Oh, our sex phone operator has welcomed you. What we do is we find... We cast, we do some stunt casting. So we find celebrities, sometimes it's athletes, sometimes it's just people, well-known people. I should say it's actors, or because celebrities could be anybody.
Right.
And
We try to keep it with actors,
Yeah.
but I believe I have deviated from that
I
on
mean,
occasion.
Kevin Love. Kevin Stefanik. Oh, no, that was
Stefanski.
Stefanski, whatever his name. That was Naughty List. Anyhow,
That's why I'm excited for football season
you are
there.
excited for some football.
I'm ready for some football.
That's right. Shit, I don't know what the name. I don't know. I don't listen to sports. Whatever. Anywho, so what we like to do is we like to surprise one another with our choices. So I'm gonna make you go first because I've gone first the last couple of times.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I was just like, as you were talking, creating my section or whatever.
Oh.
Okay, so don't judge me
I'm gonna
on
fucking
this.
judge you. I'm kidding. I'm not.
I will kick your ass. I'm just kidding.
Let's do January 1st.
Oh, you want to do January?
Yeah, let's do
Okay,
January
let me go
first.
back. Hang on. All right, so this woman, I've never fucking heard of this woman in my life. She hasn't been in that many things.
Seems legit. Okay. Well,
Seems legit.
I mean, you know what mine is like. You're never gonna know who it is. But it's fine.
No, I mean, I, again, had never heard of this girl. But I do think, well, she's not a girl.
She's not that a
1994.
girl. Not yet a woman.
Not yet a woman. God, we're awful. So this... All right,
Free
hang on,
Britney.
let me just text. Oh, she is free. Her dad stepped down.
Oh, cool.
Hang on. It didn't copy the whole thing. Hang on. Here we go. I was just about to text you a slash mark.
I mean, I could send you some porn if you'd like. I kind of did this week.
French Brutus.
Oh, God. If you're a listener, I wish you were. Because I listen to you.
We follow him on TikTok now.
Thanks, buddy.
Anywho, click on the link I sent you.
Where, would you send it? Did you do it in the chat here?
In the chat.
I don't see it.
What? Oh, shit.
Maybe I have to expand. Oh, I do. Gotta make it bigger. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
All right. I'm not. Oh, I know her. Where's she from?
Her name is Alice Engelhart.
Okay.
Engelert. I have not seen a single thing she's been in. However, what I can tell you is she was born in 94, so she's 26, 27. She's been in, I guess there's a TV series that is filming currently called Dangerous Liaisons. She's in that. She's from Australia, so I think she's been in like more stuff over the, like down under.
I've seen her in The Top of the Lake. That's what I know her in.
Yes, that she was in The Top of the Lake. I've never seen that, but
It's
like
good. FYI.
it seems like other things that I've never heard of: The Serpent, Body Brokers, The Power of the Dog, You Won't Be Alone.
She's the lead in Beautiful Creatures too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
she plays Lena Ducanis.
Yeah, I think
Beautiful
I
Creatures.
listened to that audiobook of that book, but I never watched the movie. But
Yeah, so that's my January. She's beautiful, but like not in a like more in a down to earth kind of way.
I like it.
We don't get a lot of description about January.
Right.
We know she has dark hair, and that's kind of it. And we know she's short, and that's kind of it. We don't really get a lot of description of January, which honestly makes sense considering that it's all from her perspective. So
Right.
why would she be dwelling on her own
Yeah.
appearance like that?
I walked down the street with my brown hair and my green eyes sparkling.
Yes. I threw my brown hair over my shoulder. You know, like that's not something that like you think of when you are thinking
Right.
about yourself. You think like my hair was in my face, I put it up.
Right.
You know, like I put my wet hair in a bun on the top of my head.
The
You
only
know,
time we get it is from a certain thing that her father says.
yeah,
That
right.
about like how she grew out of her blonde hair, which a lot of us do. I mean, I was a towhead, and although I mean, like
Yeah, most people lose their baby hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so mine, and also looking at her, I found somebody else that could possibly be Gus. So I'm gonna have two Gusses. So one is a alternative Gus.
Okay.
Because I was like,
Galt. It's Galt or Alt Gus.
oh, I like Galt.
Okay, cool.
All right, so I'm not a girl,
Not yet a woman.
as much I love Britney. I do. I never want to see her live because I know she just records herself. And some point, somebody please tell Britney to sing in her regular voice.
I've heard that it's better
if
than
you've
like
never
the
heard
voice
it,
that she's
look
been.
it up. There's a video of her singing something that someone has slowed down, and they think that is actually she's actually speeding up videos. Yeah, and if they speed it, if they slow it down, you can be like, yeah, that makes sense, because yeah. So checking that out at some point. She's got it like.
Oh yes, I can see this.
So I chose Elizabeth Olsen. I don't think I've used her
so
before,
much.
but she's so like she's pretty, but she's not like she's very pretty. She's very pretty, but like
she is.
I anticipate that, or I picture, January as being like girl next door, like somebody who's very relatable. Looks like she's been through some shit, like because if you've watched any of the Marvel movies, or you've seen anything with Elizabeth Olsen. Was that Quiet House? Holy shit, she's been through some stuff, like in her, in the movies that she's chosen. But she does it with a way where she's still absolutely gorgeous, but it's like somebody that you can sit down and have a conversation with, and not it's like it's not so beautiful they feel like they're off limits, you know?
Yeah,
she's very approachable and open.
Agreed.
Yes, and also I kind of want to make out with her. It's fine.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Especially that one picture. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I want to.
I mean, any picture.
I want
Send
to
me
go
any
to there.
picture.
Yep.
I want to go to there. Yeah.
Her face. So that's my that's my January.
I like it. I support it.
So tell me who your Augustus Gloot is.
All right. Don't be disappointed in me.
I'm not going to be disappointed in you, I promise.
I don't know. So this person is known.
Hold on. Is it somebody? I haven't clicked on it. Does he have a criminal record?
Oh, no, he does not. No, this is not a person with a criminal record. However, it is a person who has a very specific, he's very typecast at this point. Okay. He's known for one role. One. And when you click on it, you'll know.
Yeah, that poor gentleman. He's so fucking
I know.
hot.
I feel bad for him. So I chose Jamie Dornan. And the reason I chose Jamie Dornan was because, first of all, he would need to wear, like, Gus has brown eyes, so he'd need some colored contacts. But, like, Jamie Dornan, when he is just a normal person, and one of the first photo that I sent of you is, like, really what I picture. He's, like, skinnier. He's not, like, bulked up like he was. I think he was a little bulked up for 50 Shades.
He totally was, yeah.
Right, but, like, as his normal state...
Okay, so that first picture is from
really
him
like
from
that.
Once. He was on Once Upon a Time.
Okay, so, like, that's kind of what I'm picturing, though. Like, a more lanky, scruffy version of him.
Yeah.
So, like, not the 50 Shades version of Jamie Dornan, but, like, the more...
And not the serial killer in The Fall.
No.
Actually, he looks pretty close to what he looks like in The Fall here, but yeah.
But, like, this is what... I mean, his hair is a little longer. Easy to grab onto.
Use it as a oh shit bar.
Like, he's got the scruff. She talks about his scruff sometime. You know, like, it's... And he's lanky. You know, he's not... again, early 30s writer, not hanging out at the gym. Sitting in front of a computer all day.
Literally every guy that I'm thinking about, like, reminds me of my ex-boyfriend, so it's cool.
No. Get the fuck out.
I mean, he's okay. I can think about him. It's fine.
Okay.
He's not a bad dude.
I'll still beat him up if you want.
I'm fine. He might be dead. I don't know.
Oh, well, always a possibility. Never know.
He smoked cowboy killers. He might be dead. Anywho.
Well, also COVID times, so you never know.
You never know. But I enjoy that. I endorse that cosign.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for not judging me harshly.
God, I love Jamie Dornan. I feel so fucking bad for Jamie Dornan.
I feel terrible for him. I really do.
Although he's in something now, so he's come back a little bit.
What she said? Did I tell you about? I saw like I don't remember where I saw this. I read this story somewhere. It was like tell me about like a celebrity appearance or celebrity sighting that you had where you had no idea that you were talking to a celebrity. So this woman was she's from England, and she works in like a department store or like a shoe store or something. And these people came in, like a man and a woman and a couple of kids.
Oh, you told me about this. Yeah.
Did I tell you about this?
Yeah.
And like the retail worker was
Wasn't it
like,
a shoe store?
yeah, I think it was. And the retail worker was like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll put the shoes away. Like Christian will put the shoes away or whatever. So like she hadn't like seen these people really. She had like only seen the wife and like not really seen the man's face. So she's ringing these people out, and then like says something again like, no, don't worry about it. Christian will do it. Like talking about her coworker. And then like after, the woman was super irritated. And she didn't understand why. Like this woman was like, I don't know why this woman all of a sudden is irritated with me, but like whatever. And then after the fact realized that she had been talking to fucking Jamie Dornan and his wife and their kids. Oh, so like the wife thought that she was ripping on them. She's
taking the piss, as the British would say.
Yes. And she was just like, no, my coworker Christian will put the shoes away. Like that's all. Like it was not, she didn't even know who she was talking to.
Part of me like feels so bad. I mean, like, I don't know if he realized, I bet you he didn't read the book before he signed on. But at the same time, I think a lot of those guys were like, I am going to be making fucking bank. And they thought they were going to be in this big thing, not realizing it's a fucking trilogy. And I bet you he never read it.
I think he tried to get out of the second one.
Yeah, they were like,
I thought I read that he was like, I don't want to do the second one. And they were like, no, you kind of have to. And they,
I mean, I'm
sure they paid him a stupid amount of money.
While we're like just talking about this poor gentleman, let's look and see if he's doing anything right now. Because that would make me feel better if he had a job right now that wasn't like fucking 50 Shades of Grey. Because I think he was in something recently with somebody that I absolutely adore. Who was it? I want to say Sebastian Stan. It's Sebastian Stan, I think. Because there's some stuff with...
Oh, he was in... it's a Netflix movie. He's in a movie with Sebastian Stan and the girl from Divergent. What's her name?
Oh, yes.
Shailene Woodley.
Yes. Oh, God, that's right. He was also in Wild Mountain Thyme. Wild Mountain Thyme.
It's thyme as in like the spice, right?
Yep.
That's how it's spelled?
Yep. Remember, he thinks he's a fucking bee.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yep. Is it endings and beginnings?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
so
it is endings and beginnings, yes. So I sent you who I thought was, and his name is Alexander Koch. And
is it Koch or is it Koch?
I don't know. I'm going to go with Koch.
Okay, fair.
Koch. You say...
He's real cute.
He's real cute. Dark eyes. I mean, he's 32, so around the same time. And so I know him from Lucifer because he came on in this last season.
Of course you do.
I mean, come on. But he was on, I guess,
I'm judging you.
I mean, just don't be surprised if, like, the next 4 weeks I just pick Tom Ellis for everything. Kidding. I'm not going to do that. But his hair was a little longer and a little curlier, but, like, I can see is just around the same age. And actually, when I was watching it, I was, because I've been blowing through trying to, because the 10th is the 6th season. So I'm trying to get through the 5th season, and he came on, and I was like, oh my God, he looks like Augustus. Like, I was like, wow, he would be a good Augustus.
I can see it, yeah, for sure. Because Augustus is described as having, like, dark hair, dark eyes, and olive skin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to find, since I fucked up where my, okay, here he is. So I'm gonna look up his Pinterest so that way I can send it to you. Like, as I was looking the one up, I'm like, oh, here's somebody who could be. Didn't think about it because he hasn't done much since a certain movie that he got a bunch of bullshit for, which I love. And here, I'm gonna send this to you. Did you get it?
Yeah, but I don't know who that is.
So, he got a bunch of bullshit because he played Han Solo in Solo. His name is Alden Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich? Oh, okay.
Ehrenreich, yeah. Aiden Ehrenreich. Oh, no, Alden. Alden Ehrenreich. Yeah.
Alden Ehrenreich.
He was fantastic, and I liked Solo, and not a lot of people did. But I can also see him as as
I could see
Augustus.
it, yeah.
Like
yeah, I could.
curly hair. Oh, here's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I'd throw a leg over it. Wait, I throw a leg over a lot of people. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's attractive, but he's not like
no
model attractive. You
no,
know, like
he
he's
looks
not...
like he might be able to fix your car.
Yeah, probably.
And maybe fix your headlight, which mine needs to be fixed. And at the same time, write you some prose.
What kind of headlight?
One headlight.
I'll bet.
I just need someone to fix my headlights while in front of a mirror. We would do what the fuck was that called? Figurehead. We would do the figurehead.
Figurehead.
Yep.
Man, I'm so glad you accidentally got that game.
Accidentally. Also that I fucking now want to go back and read that whole section of Romancing Mr. Bridgerton.
You really should. It also makes me want to plow through, no pun intended, that series, just because I have to read them in order.
I know. You'll have to read 3 because I really don't want to read 3. Really don't want to read 3.
I can take the bullet on that one.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm gonna have to.
I can take the brunt of the whatever.
Well, we're gonna have to for
at some point. Yeah.
I mean, 2 years from now, we're gonna have to. Maybe 3. Who knows how long? Anyhow, so that is Stunt Casting.
Everyone, please get vaccinated. Thank you.
Please and thank you. So that's the book, guys.
So good.
So we're gonna move on to. We'll let you find people leave for the evening or the day or whenever you're listening to this. But first, what we do, we give you some recommendations ourselves.
Yeah,
like books
stuff that we've been listening to,
yep.
reading. Things like that.
And our ears, eyes, earballs and eyeballs. Earballs, eyeballs.
Ear holes, eyeballs.
and that's how we leave you. So, my dear, do you have some recommendations, book recommendations?
So, I have a book recommendation. I do not have a podcast recommendation. Okay. But, so one thing... Again, that fucking Beach Read box sets. I only have one book left in that box set, and I'm kind of scared of it because Kate Stewart, I've heard she makes people cry, and so I'm kind of putting it off. But I will.
It's right up your alley, dude.
I don't want to talk about it. So I already cried in Beach Read.
Accident angst.
I know. I love a redemption story. I love a character arc. I love it when people figure their shit out. You know what I mean? It's just, it's like a second chance romance and an enemies to lovers. I have had a lot of therapy. I have a therapist.
That's why I'm sticking in the past.
Good for you. Stick to your historical romance.
I will.
That'll be great. Good for you. Good for you.
Good for you.
Oh, good for you.
Good for you and your dukes or whatever. Your dukes and your falls and your trousers.
Knights of the Round Table and whatever bullshit.
No one had condoms back then.
Oh, gross. Just so fucking gross.
I mostly think about the smell. But I can't smell right now, so it'd be perfect.
It would be fine for you. It would actually be a perfect time for you.
Yeah, take me back. Take me back. I brush my teeth. I mean, I brush my teeth every day, but then I only have to brush them every so often. Kidding.
Oh, gross. Gross.
Kidding.
Take care of your gums. Brush your teeth, people.
Kidding. No, I am crazy about my teeth. It's fine. No, I would only have to take...
need to take good care of it.
I'm on the Edwardian bathing schedule, though. It's called COVID, guys. If you don't go anywhere, why?
Why bother?
Why bother?
Dry shampoo.
Exactly.
Break it out.
Exactly.
All right. So the one that I am recommending for this week, I think it's the second to last one in that Beach Read box set. It is called The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. This was my first Lucy Score. Now, she's the one you had told me she wrote. Is she the one that wrote about she writes about STEM heroines? Oh. Did she write about the soccer player?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes! The one where she becomes the gym teacher.
I think so. You look that up.
I will.
And get the title, because I forget. I think there's a soccer ball in the picture on the cover. The
Rock Bottom Girl.
Rock Bottom Girl. Yes,
They talked about Hamilton all through that book. I loved it so much.
I need to read that. So this was in that box set, and it's called The Worst Best Man. This fucking book it was sort of like reading two books in one, because how this book starts off is that the heroine it's dual perspective.
Love it.
Right? Yes. The heroine, I've read like 3 books since then. The heroine is the maid of honor in a wedding. The hero is the best man, obviously. They do nothing but butt heads.
Ooh.
It's a destination wedding. They're in Barbados. It is a shit show. Like the whole fucking time, a shit show. And then like that, all of that happens in like the first 30 or 40% of the book. And then they come home.
Oh.
Right. So like the first part of the book is like them at this wedding and dealing with like the absolute chaos that is this destination
This sounds
wedding.
so familiar, like I've read it before. Anyhow, keep going.
Have you? Okay, so then the last, I don't know, maybe half or 2/3 of the book is them trying to figure out like how to navigate a real relationship together. They live in New York, so like back in New York.
Yeah.
And they live very different lives. Like he's rich as hell and runs like a huge company, and she is like making ends meet and trying to get her master's degree and working part-time at like a small business thing. It's awesome. It was shockingly good. And I only say that because like I just didn't have high expectations of it. Because, like, I don't know, I was kind of like, oh, best man, maid of honor, like, it'll be over after the wedding. You know, I don't know. I didn't have high hopes for the trope. But, like, fuck, man, this book was hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. And she, like, the heroine is top notch. Like, just so fucking funny, the things that happen to them.
Yeah.
And even just in the first third of the book are hysterical and also very spicy. So anyway, The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. 10 out of 10 recommend.
I enjoy, and Rock Bottom Girl, same thing. It's very funny. Both the heroine and the hero are they're both teachers, so you got that aspect of it. So it's working in education. Yeah. Yeah, you'll enjoy that one. I really did. I liked it a lot.
I'll have to read that one. Yeah.
So I have 2 for you guys. I know,
Okay.
right? So,
I would have more. I read others. I just.
Oh my God.
I told you, like, one I just, like, hate finished.
Oh,
I just wasn't. I was like, I can't. I need to know what happens, but I'm not enjoying myself.
I had some good luck with some books this week. So the one, the first one I read this week, actually last weekend, was because somebody on Insta was given some, like, that we follow, was given some real hate to this book, and I was like, and she was like, well, I know everyone likes it, but I couldn't stand it, and I'm like, okay. And it's a British romantic comedy, so I'm like, well, maybe it's that. And she even gave the qualifier, maybe it's because it's British, and I'm like, well, then you need to expand your fucking horizons. I don't want to tell you there, bitch. Anyhow, not bitch, but anyhow, you know what I'm saying. I just throw bitch on everything. Anywho, but I get where she's coming from, because if it depends on, so I think you and I both can say, a lot of times, depending on what you're reading in American romantic comedy, it could be very fluffy and no substance. It's just,
right.
You know, they get together and they fuck, and that's about it. But this book in particular, so it's about this woman who has a bakery, and this is the book that I thought it was just going to be about rival bakers.
It was just going to be like a chill, like easy read.
Yep.
Right.
It's called Battle Royal, by Lucy Parker. And which, FYI, it's Battle Royal, not Royale, because when you pull up Battle Royale, it is a movie from the 1990s about Asian school kids who it's a Hunger Games-esque sort of...
Yes. When I remember talking to my husband about Hunger Games, he goes, this sounds like Battle Royale.
I've seen Battle Royale. Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Battle Royale's a lot better. But anywho, which I think it was a comic book. I think it was a manga.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Anywho, so crux of the book is she was a contestant on a baking show, and it's the first chapter talks about how, so the hero is like Simon, what's his name from American Idol? Simon Cowell-esque, sort of like grumpy, but I mean hot, like not Simon Cowell, but like grumpy, like too good for this sort of thing, like baker,
pretentious.
He's one of the judges. His name's Dominic.
Got it.
And what happens is her she's like leading the pack on this, like she's gonna win, whatever.
Perfect.
And she's like spunky, she's got her like pink streak in her hair, beautiful sort of thing. All of her cakes are wonderful. Comes down to this last one where it is a unicorn, and there's some sort of contraption inside that like it's supposed to do. I think it's supposed to raise its paw. Well, it explodes. It explodes on him and hits. And so the rest of the book is talking about how he took a hoof to the face. And I have to say, that part made me laugh out loud in my kitchen. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. That won me over. I mean, it's a longer book. And a lot of things happen that are so heartbreaking that you're like, I was really so she ends up coming back and becoming a judge on this show because everyone like. Didn't
you say you cried reading this book?
I cried reading this book. So there.
This is supposed to be a chill book about bakers.
Yeah, like the first part of the book starts, and then it's like you go 4 years in the future. And she's being asked to be a judge on the show happens to be that her bakery is across the street from Dom's, and they have completely different baking styles and decorating styles. So they're up.
I like it.
They're both up for a royal cake. The Princess Rose is.
So what we're saying is this is enemies to lovers, and also like opposites attract.
But when he falls and when he starts to show his feelings for her and become very protective of her. It's, oh my God. We talk about the perfect man. He might just be. Like but he's got a horrible background that he came from. So I think that's where this woman was talking about, because it's not just like all rote and tied up in a firm little bow. It's like there's shit happens, like stuff happens, but she was saying like that it was like it just goes on, and I'm like I like this review that I'm giving right now. It's like no, I mean she's got to describe what's happening. Like shit happens in this book that is rough, and so whatever. I totally recommend it. I loved it a lot. I actually wanted to do it on the show, but we have so much going on coming up that maybe sometime in the future.
Yeah, we do. We have like the next couple episodes.
We have the next month.
Like, couple months planned out.
Yeah. I was thinking like November maybe, but probably not. Anyhow, so that's the first one. Second one is I started a series. I'm not a big fan. Okay, so this is actually Regency, so it's cool. It's Victorian England. Sorry, it's Victorian, not Regency. And it is a bride for the Prizefighter. And I read that one, and a substitute bride for the Prizefighter. And it takes place again in Victorian England, and it's like lower class people, and so it's very different than my regular historical romance. Extremely hot. Holy shit hot. Like, oh my God. Like, not like I think we should from now on have it on we have things on lengthwise and slow burn on a Zapata scale. I think on a hot scale we should have it on a Sierra Simone.
Holy fuck. I texted you earlier and I was like, I can't even look at the word priest anymore.
Yes.
Without thinking about Sierra Simone. Like, we watched like a movie earlier an animated movie, a children's animated movie where like 3 of the characters were named like priest because they play insignificant roles. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, I'm ruined.
Yes.
I cannot see that word anymore.
Yeah. And I think you guys missed out because unless you listened to our commentary on Pride and Prejudice, we talked a lot about priests on that one.
You should also listen to the American Queen episode, maybe.
But we don't talk about priest on that one, but...
No, but you should definitely
listen
read
to
that book.
Yeah, you should read that book. You should read a lot. If you are charged and ready to go, you should definitely read any Sierra Simone you can get your hands on.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
So anyhow, they're both very good.
I digress.
It's fine. It's completely fine. So you get to see very slow burn love stories, because it's not insta love. Both are marriage of convenience, and but you see the daily goings on of these people working their asses off. Like, I thought to myself, what an existence. There's no like real time off. There's no one is a publican's wife. They own a pub, which I was like, oh my god, my dream. So there's no, I mean, they even talk about that. They're like, there's no day off. Like, they have half days sometimes. And the other one is they're on a fair circuit. They're on a prize fighting circuit.
Sure. Yeah.
So they're very good. I agree. I actually downloaded one of the older, like, Renaissance-esque, I don't know, 1700s, whatever era that's called. I don't even know right now. Ones, and I enjoyed her writing.
The plague era.
Yeah, don't touch me, you're dirty. Era.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Wear a mask. The wear a mask era.
Yeah,
you mean?
he's like, even here in America, don't touch me, you're gross. Era. Although I have to say, we've talked about this before in Hamilton. That's not what it's work. There's no way. So, honestly, around the time when we started becoming a country, women actually did have a lot more to say and had a little bit more, sometimes, influence than we do have today. Sometimes.
When I meet Thomas, what did she say? When I meet Thomas Jefferson, I'm gonna persuade him to put women in the sequel. I forget exactly how that goes. Yeah.
Work. Yeah. I mean,
work.
When you think back at, Abigail Adams and John Adams.
Yeah.
I mean, she had some influence. So, yeah, anywho. Those are my recommendations. I would get off my soapbox now.
No, don't step off the soapbox. Leave it there.
Yeah.
Step back up on top of it.
Well, I have to, because I have a podcast recommendation.
Yes, please do. I don't have a podcast recommendation because I am in shambles. So go.
Well, see, I have so many that that I listen to that maybe I don't so much anymore. But I'm trying to find the link to this.
I can look for it. Go ahead.
So
you talk. I'll look for it.
So it is called "My Dad Wrote a Porno," and it is it's the premise.
My Dad Wrote a Porno podcast.
Yes. So the premise of it is this gentleman found out that his father started writing his own erotic novel, and so he reads
everyone's worst nightmare,
pretty much. And his father's very staunchy, because he's British, so he's very staunchy British person.
Perfect.
And what he does is he reads the novel by chapter to his friends, not to his father. No. Yeah. And so it became so popular that the father wrote another novel.
No.
Yes.
Fuck me.
Oh my god, it is so funny. And they go on tour, and he reads chapters. They read chapters on tour. Oh my god, it is so funny.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the website. It's hysterical. It says cringe out loud funny.
Oh, it is. It is so funny. So they, Belinda Blinked. That's the name of the book. Belinda Blinked.
Oh
and
my god.
It is a modern story of sex, erotica, and passion. How the sexiest sales girl in business earns her huge bonus by being the best at removing her high heels.
No.
The second followed in 2016, entitled Belinda Blink 2, the continuing story of dripping sex, passion, and big business deals.
We need to also discuss the pen name, which is Rocky Flintstone.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck me.
And they refer to it.
Oh my god, there's going to be a third one.
Yeah, of course there is. Because it's it is... I mean, they have... It's mostly now just write stuff so we can talk about it on the podcast. Yeah. And they never...
Oh my god.
When I was listening to it, they hadn't talked to the dad. I'm so far behind at this point. But...
Hang on, it says publication date 2017, so their website is just not updated.
Yeah. They're, but...
Okay.
It's so funny, and, Rocky Flintstone is the pen name of Morton's father, a retired Northern Irish builder. So there you go.
Oh my god.
The name Rocky was inspired by the Rockford Files and a family dog living in Brazil, also named Rocky.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
Hang on. Oh my god, there are so many more. Belinda Blinked.
They have an HBO special, FYI.
Holy shit, there's so many. There's Belinda Blinked 6. Also, Belinda Blinked Lockdown 69.
I thought you were going to say Belinda Blinked in space.
No. Belinda Blinked Lockdown 69, a very special Belinda Blinked book written during unspecial times.
Well, what's great is they have, like,
and it was published in the fall, November 2020.
So they have this, like, an offshoot of their podcast called Footnotes, and what they'll do is they bring on guests to talk about Belinda Blinked and the podcast, and they've had Elijah Wood on there, Michael Sheen, who I love, Daisy Ridley, Nicholas Hoult, Ben Barnes.
I cannot fucking believe this.
It's me. Josh Groban, Dan Levy's been on it.
My god.
Lin-Manuel, speaking of Hamilton, has been on it because Lin-Manuel loves it. Yeah. It's so funny, guys. Like, I need to catch up, and I will at some point.
First of all, I'm telling you right now, if I found out that one of my parents wrote porn, I might die. I might actually die.
I would give them a hand. I would give them a clap.
The thing is, I would do a slow clap for your parents.
I would never read it.
Oh, no. Never.
Unless it was going to pay me some cash. Like, I'm sure these guys are doing decent right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When I finally publish the books that I'm working on, I've read some dedications in novels. One of them was Lauren Asher, I think, in Throttled, which I've recommended on this podcast before. I need to finish that series because I really did enjoy it, and I've heard such good things about the last two, but there's a billion books on the planet. I just haven't gotten there yet. I believe one of her dedications literally says, to my mother, who will want to douse me in holy water after reading this book.
Well, how about... so I saw this today in Instagram, and I'm going to share it because I have the book queued. This is one book we were going to read, but I don't... Again, we have zero time to do this. It is Lisa Kleypas's new Devil in Desire. And what... In Disguise, Disguise. And her dedication is to the marvelous Eloisa James, who got me through 2020. Thank you, my treasured friend.
Oh my god.
I love that. I love when... because I think Julia Quinn Bridgerton, she thanked Lisa Kleypas. So, I love that
shit.
Women supporting women.
Women supporting women. Carry as we climb.
Oh, I like that.
Carry as we climb.
I like that a lot. All right, what we got going up, girl?
So, our next... All right, listen.
We got shit. We got so much shit coming up. Okay.
Open, as Ray would say, open your fucking ears. Still one of my favorite things from this podcast. So, all right. So this episode for Beach Read is airing on September 7th. Now, on September 15th, we begin Hispanic Heritage Month. We are going to do 2 books and probably probably a page to screen, right?
Yeah, now I'm sitting here thinking like how we're going to do this. Okay, yeah, because we'd have to find another...
We'll talk about that offline. Yeah. Regardless, our next book, it'll be like a tight schedule because this book actually releases on September 14th. We're going to read A Lot Like Adios by Alexis Daria. And that comes out on September 14th, but our episode will air on the 21st. So we're going to have to read it like right away because we didn't get an ARC copy. I don't even think we tried, actually.
No, so the first thing I think we're doing is Like Water.
That's the next one. Oh, yeah.
So that's why I said we've got some things going on we have to figure out.
Yeah, we have some things to figure out. Page to screen supposedly is supposed to be...
We might do... we could do something else before that.
We can figure something out.
We'll do something else.
Yeah. But regardless, the next book that we are reading is A Lot Like Adios by Alexis Daria. Again, comes out on the 14th. So we will discuss it the weekend after it comes out, and then our episode will air on the 21st. Now, the book we're reading after that, we've not figured out all the page to screen things yet, but the book that we're reading after that is the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez.
So here's what I propose. I know I'm proposing on live. So the next one...
Are you proposing? I am married.
I'll be your side piece.
I love you. Fine.
So here's what I'm
Accepted.
proposing. We're gonna
Challenge accepted.
We're gonna do something different before we get into, because the page to screen next would then be
Water, chocolate.
well, no,
Some
what I'm thinking
chocolate,
date wise. So this is gonna come out on the 6th. So
7th.
7th. So we'd have a week because the other one doesn't come out until, oh no, the book comes out this week. So we're actually, okay, it's going to go book to book. So we're not going to have because a lot like Adios comes out on this week, correct?
The 14th. The following week.
No, I thought it comes out on the 7th.
Let me look. I pulled it up.
Because if not, then what we'll do is we'll just figure out another page to screen for this week. We'll do something else.
A Lot Like Adios is September 14th.
Oh, okay. Okay, then, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to do something different for this week. I don't know what it will be, but we'll figure it out in the next few days. And we'll do something different. And then we'll do Like Adios. And then we'll do Like Water for Chocolate. And then we'll do Abby Jimenez.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because we won't actually then be into we won't be into National Hispanic Heritage Month, because that runs September 15th through October 15th. So
right, yeah, excellent point. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so yes, we'll figure that out. We'll do something else for.
So I would say
next week
after Abby Jimenez, we'll probably then we'll be in October, so we'll do Warm Bodies for Page to Screen.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so that's what's coming up, guys. Where can people find us? Do you want me to read off the bullshit?
Please do. I was just writing down our schedule.
All right, so coming up, so how to find us. Our website, chickletbookclubpodcast.com.
It's not bullshit. Did you say bullshit?
It's not bullshit.
Where can people find our bullshit? It is bullshit.
It is
it's fine.
Sometimes it feels like bullshit, just because I'm like, there's so much shit. Just because Facebook.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
That's fine.
Please start.
Again,
pick up where you left off.
Twitter is @ChickletPodcast. TikTok is Chicklet Book Club. Pinterest is Chicklet Book Club Podcast. Email is chickletbookclubpodcast@gmail.com.
Tell us your thoughts.
Yes.
And constructive criticism.
Yes, please do. Instagram, Chicklet Book Club Podcast. YouTube is, there's a link in the description.
Yeah, just click on the link.
Facebook, find us on Facebook. It's Chicklet Book Club Podcast. You look it up. We're there. And then we have a Patreon. So if you feel like supporting us, which we would love if you did, there's a link in our bio there too. Another thing is we spent this last month doing Adriana Locke, right? Adriana Locke.
Yep.
And
Adriana
Shel Sloan
Locke?
had, I think it's Adriana. Shel Sloan, they had a music challenge, and it was super fun. So I
had a good time with that.
We did, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. We enjoyed doing it. In fact, we were just talking that maybe we'll do a Christmas music one. So maybe we'll do that for the month of December.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. And then we have something coming up with you guys. It's going to be past this time, so that's fine. Just, yep.
We are also still we still have magnets. So if you would like to, go to Apple iTunes, the purple icon, and leave us an honest review. Rate us and review us, and then take a screenshot of your review, send it to chickletbookclubpodcast@gmail.com, and we will send you a magnet. You can choose from a wine-colored background or a like purplish blue background. You can check those out on our Insta, but we will happily send you a magnet if you let us know where you want us to mail that to in exchange for an honest review of our podcast.
Yay.
Yeah. Please do. Is that it? Did we do it?
Fucking did it.
Oh, thank God.
Oh.
All right.
As somebody lands to come over here and participate.
Hey, Sherman.
What's up? So
you are so handsome.
He is. He has a bow tie. He needs to put one on. Anywho. Yes. How do we end this thing, my beautiful friend?
In the most obnoxious way possible.
Bye! Never not funny!
Why is it so funny?
I don't know, because it's just hurting someone's ears, and I sometimes like to inflict pain.
Well, that's your own.
I'm just a sucker for pain.
I love you so much.
I
like I
love you.